Yep, I'm coming at you from my shower. You know why? Because today I'm going to be talking to you about the most important parts of inventing. And one of the most important parts of inventing is daydreaming. This is where a lot of my great ideas came from. All right, video number 2, here we go. So, what if you don't have an idea yet? That's fine. This is the thing. You should start with the things that you know. All right. So maybe you have a hobby. Like I'm a magician and a card collector. And so that's why I came up with the card cases that you're seeing on your screen. And recently came up with invites that I'm having made to send to my customers, and they're pop-up cards, really cool. So it could be even small things like that. Okay. Maybe it's related to parenting or having pets or owning a home or renting a home. Any of those things. I mean, what you need to really do is to set your reticular activating system into place. Okay, now I just got real deep on you, right? No, this is really easy. If you've ever been like car shopping, let's say, and you're like, oh man, that car looks really cool. I want to get one of those. I don't see many of those around. Or maybe it's just the color of the car. Oh, I never see that color around. That's a great color. Or maybe even it's just a pair of shoes, anything like that. But you go and you purchase it, and then the next thing you know, you start seeing them everywhere. And you're like, why did everybody copy me all of a sudden, right? The truth is, everybody didn't copy you. What happened is your RAS in your brain decided to pay attention to that particular vehicle, that particular color, those particular shoes, all of a sudden, because you told it to pay attention to it, because you brought it into your life. Okay. So this happened when I named my older child Caleb. We came up with the name Caleb, and we're like, this is great. Nobody's naming their kids Caleb. We heard it at church, and we're like, oh man, perfect. Like, you know, Caleb's such a great name. And next thing you know, I hear Caleb's all over the place. Okay. Why am I telling you this? I'm telling you this because you can speak it into existence. All right. I told you the story in the first video. If you didn't watch the first video, go back and watch it. But I told you about Sarah Blakely. All right. She decided she was going to invent something. So her eyes were open when that invention came along. That is because of the reticular activating system in her brain. All right. You can literally speak it into existence. This is why goals work, because you tell your brain that this is something that you are going to do. And therefore your brain looks down the path as you're walking at all the things you're going to need to accomplish that goal. So start thinking that you need an idea if you don't have an idea, and it is going to pop out in front of you. All right. So what does it take to be an inventor? Do you need to have at least 120 IQ? No, certainly not. Okay. An education in business or importing or design. Once again, Sarah Blakely, she said she had no business education. All right. You don't need to have any specific education at all. Do you need a lot of expendable cash? Maybe $500. If that's a lot to you, then yes, you need a lot. But it might not even take $500. All right. You can find something that you can do for a lot less. My invites so far, I've put $50 into it. That was just to get samples sent to me. Do you need to be a great salesperson? No, great salespeople exist. You can hire them when you get to that point. Do you need to have passion? That's the last thing there. I'll move my head out of the way. Do you need to have passion? Absolutely. You need to have passion. Passion is the one thing that you need to accomplish anything in life. All right. If you are going to give up on something easily, you don't have passion. If you're going to give up when the first obstacle comes along, you don't have passion. Because there'll be obstacles. I mean, it happens, you know. Look at Walt Disney went to over 200 banks before someone said yes about him building his amusement park. Okay. Think about going to 200 banks asking, how do you walk into the 201st bank and still ask
for money, thinking somebody might say yes. There's only one way that you can do that. It's passion. All right. It's knowing somewhere along the way, someone is eventually going to say yes. All right. If you're on an Easter egg hunt and you think that all the eggs have been found, you're going to stop. But if you know there's one egg left, they verify, yep, there's one egg left and it's got a gold bar in it. All right. You may search for 3 days, but you're going to search until you find it. Right. So that's what it's about. It's having the passion, knowing that the answer is out there. Henry Ford is attributed to saying, the smartest man in the room surrounds himself in that same room with people who are smarter than he. And that's really, it's a great quote. Okay. So that is about finding the right people. If you don't know how, it's fine. You're going to find the people who know how. You focus on what you do know. All you need to know is what your idea is once you figure it out and how to explain what it is. I'm about to show you a slide that is pretty much everything. I mean, it's like all of the links that I use. Some of these things you probably know already. Some of them you probably don't. But these are my major contacts throughout the inventing process. This is how it is done. All right. Upwork. That's where you go to find talent, people very inexpensively who will do things for you. I got an app built that would have cost me $50,000 to get done in the United States for, I think I probably spent close to $10,000 to get it done in total. All right. But that doesn't matter. You can find people to work for you for $2 or $3 an hour, and they will be thrilled to get that work. JustAnswer.com is great. Maybe you have a legal question and you're not sure how to answer the question or what to do. And to get a consult with a lawyer might cost you a few $100. You can get the answer on JustAnswer.com for usually, I think it's like $20 or something. Fiverr.com is much like Upwork. There are people who are willing to do work, but Upwork is a little more freeform. Fiverr is like, this is what I'll do for you. I will take your logo and I'll make it a 3D logo, and a million other things that they'll do for you. I will search for a patent for you. Okay, that's on Fiverr.com. KRTinspect.com. That is who I use to send into the factory while they're doing the manufacturing of a product. Every single time. Don't do it once and then the second round think you don't have to send an inspector. You send an inspector every single time. Is that expensive? It's like $300. Okay, to send an inspector into the factory. They do whatever tests you want. I want you to drop it from 5 feet off the ground. I want you to put 20 pounds of pressure on the top of it. I want you to look underneath the foam in the bottom and make sure that there isn't any sawdust left. I mean, whatever it is that you want them to look for, they'll do it. They'll look. All right, and then they send you a full report on what they have found. UTC Overseas, I deal with those people. They do all the importing for me. I don't know anything about the importing documents and forms and what's required. I just know that they're like, hey, Brian, you got to make sure that you get this form to us before it ships, and they'll tell me what to fill out and where. Really easy, okay? You don't need to know. You just need to know the people who do. Now, if there's something you do need to know, YouTube and Google. YouTube is the best. Like my son and I took my whole front of my van apart and replaced the headlights years ago. And I figured out how to do that on YouTube. I didn't know how to do that. Okay. You can find the answers to practically anything on YouTube. It's fantastic. All right. So all you need are these things and some passion. Let's talk about passion again for a second. Here's Carroll Shelby. Carroll Shelby was a race car driver when being a race car driver was the most dangerous job in the world. He rolled his car in an accident one time, bumps and bruises and broken bones like crazy everywhere. He's back in his car racing again the next possible opportunity. He was so beat up in that next race that he had one hand taped to the steering wheel and the other hand taped to the gear lever so that he could race, and he won. All right. This man had passion. That's what passion's about. And it shows because the Shelby Cobra, the car that he designed, just recently sold at auction for $13.75 million. All right. That's because, not because somebody's like, oh, I'm going to get $13.75 million worth of miles out of that car. That's worth it. No, because they respect passion and they understand what it took to get that car made, and that Carroll Shelby was the best race car driver ever, and that he was passionate about what he did. That is enough to chew on for one day. Tomorrow, I am going to tell you why your idea, or how to make your idea a great idea. Okay? It's going to have to be a safe idea, SAFE. And after we finish that, we're going to talk about having some fun, SUMFUN. Those two acronyms are going to be key for tomorrow. So please make sure that you tune back into the next lecture and chew on what I just told you. And I want you to start thinking about what your idea is going to be. If you already have an idea, start daydreaming and think about how that idea will look when it comes into creation, okay? Start daydreaming about what your idea may be. Don't think that daydreaming is bad. It's the best thing there could possibly be. You need it. You need to come up with your idea.